Hi and welcome to the Intermediate Basics video number 2. Now I'd like to talk about a couple of things in this video. Firstly, music. The joy of brass instruments, and for me specifically trumpet. Whether you aspire to be Bud Herseth sitting in Chicago playing the Mahler 5, or if you want to be Freddie Hubbard carving up the changes, or whether you want to be a commercial freelance player, Latin American big band, whether you want to play in a brass band, the instruments offer challenges based on our instinct. And so this whole site is about overcoming those problems and figuring out what's going on in the body and how to possibly change the way that we approach things. And that can often mean rewiring or rethinking about the way that we play. Now, my chosen field and love of music is in commercial music, and I admire the guys in orchestras and admire the guys who play jazz, and if you asked 100 people what their favourite and least favourite styles of trumpet music is, let alone music as a whole, you'd get a lot of answers. So the thing about this site is it's not about styles, it's about looking at the inefficiencies of your performance to try and improve how you're going. Now, Arnold Jacobs, amazing tuba player, and who's a guy who could have been a doctor in anatomy, says in one of his books, he goes, if you want to learn something new, a new trick, put your instrument away. And I'm right into this. I'm right into the way that the brain works and the way that we think about doing the process of playing. So for teachers, if you're teaching beginners, we can keep it really simple and implant a couple of very simple ideas to get a great result. If you've been playing a long time and you're discovering that you've got inefficiencies, the way to go about it is by not just practicing on the horn and doing different exercises, because if you're doing the exercises incorrectly, it doesn't matter how long you do them for, you can't defy physics. If you're pinching and muscling, you're not going to be able to change. We need to change the way that we think. Now, recently there was an amazing special on ABC TV here in Australia, and it was called Rewiring the Brain. And basically it was about learning to do things that you couldn't otherwise do. And one of the main experiments that they did in this process was a guy was playing darts. He'd never really played darts, and he was right-handed, so he'd use his right hand to throw darts at the dartboard. And he could kind of hit, but, you know, he was okay. Then they said, try with your left hand. And he tried with his left hand, and he missed. No good at all. And they said, okay, go away for a month. Don't practice darts. Just think about it. For 10 minutes a day, close your eyes and visualize playing darts. And so he did that. He didn't touch any darts, just thought about it. I'm playing darts left-handed, just visualizing. After a month, he came back and they filmed him, and he got the dart and went bang, straight into the dartboard, because he visualized it. The brain had actually changed the way it thought about the process. There's a new MRI machine around that can scan the pathways of the brain, and they can see the pathways and what they do and how they work. So they taught 20 people over here to juggle, and another test group, 20 people, we're not going to teach them to juggle. Okay, and then they took a brain scan of both of them, both groups, at the start and then at the end of a 3-month period. And they discovered that they could track with the people that they taught to juggle that the pathways had changed, the coordination requirements were different, and they'd learnt a new skill, and they could actually plot in the brain how or where the changes took place. To me, that sends fireworks off in my brain. I think that is just magnificent. And they also, if they didn't continue to juggle, over time, the pathways went back to the way they were. So that's fascinating stuff. And So the same can be said for brass playing. Now, I use a heap of, I call them wind products, but they're just tools for reprogramming the brain. Now, I used to buzz my lips really tight and choke up and get headaches when I played, and my chest was really tight. I didn't realize at the time how important the body and the resonance of the body was to creating sound. I certainly understand it now. So I started off doing some exercises using a Voldine that was recommended by Arnold Jacobs. And I'd sit here and practice breathing in and breathing in. It's a breath trainer. They're a bit expensive, but they're terrific. So I've got a equally as effective but a slightly cheaper version here, where it's a breathing trainer. So you can breathe in, and you can really feel the body open right up. Or you can breathe 2 balls in, and that's training you to really expand the rib cage and the lungs. And then for high intensity breath in, for practicing quick, fast, deep breathing, you suck air right in, you can feel the resistance of it, and the body's working. So when it comes time to playing the trumpet, when you get you're ready to go with your air. And another thing that I use is a breathing bag. They're just a rubber breathing bag, and you can breathe in and breathe out without hyperventilating. You keep the carbon dioxide levels at a safe level. Now, we're not going to breathe through it for an hour, but again, it opens up the breathing pathways. Because of the width of the rim, it really gets the jaw down and you can feel the body expand. This is where the sound comes from. The sound wave goes back into your body, as well as it's created by the lips, and the sound wave is in the trumpet and in the room, but it's also in the body. There's one big column of oscillating air, and we don't want to be tight in the body because that affects the spectrum of harmonics in your sound. So learning how to breathe efficiently is just so vitally important, and there's not enough emphasis put on that with beginners. Now, there's going to be extra breathing videos on the site that you can see, but at this stage I very much want, as I explained in the first video, in fact, getting that breath above the atmospheric pressure line, and then the release. I can't express, one, how much energy is in that release, and 2, how important it is to your overall practice. Now, I use a breathing tube. Now, the same thing, you put that between your teeth, lowers the jaw, lowers the tongue, direct channel down into your sound pit. Feels great. Good adjustable lead. Whack it around your neck. Now I use, as you saw in the first video, I use a visualizer. They probably, out of everything, breath is so important in a resonant body, but for reprogramming and retraining the way that you think about things, to put the horn away, to find the owl, find the shape, find the airstream, and then to learn a new sensation, to get a visualizer and just thread over the lead, the airstream, is just powerful. When you close your eyes and then you pretend, when you grab your mouthpiece, that it's exactly the same. It will feel ridiculous for you, but you're here to learn how to improve your efficiency. And once you find that sensation, I guarantee that you're going to find changes in your playing. And lucky last, to experiment with air pressure working, it's a plastic stick with a hole in it. But what you can learn from this is the mighty power and energy in a breath, and you can recognize the elasticity of the body. When I take a good breath in, there's a lot of air moving back out, and there's nothing I'm doing. There's no kick, there's no push. The wind sticks are just awesome. So they're in a pack here if you want the wind products. I recommend them highly because you want to reprogram the way that you go about feeling about playing. If I said to you, again, like I said in the first video, play me a high C or a high G or a double high C, how do you feel about it? What messages get sent from back here? Do you go into panic mode, or do you understand what it feels like and how to go about doing it? We need to learn that sensation so when you pick up the trumpet there is no fear, and that's the most important thing. Now, if we're going to be teaching beginners, they won't have to go through all this process, because we will set them on the path very quickly the right way. So you're at a recruitment night and you've got 10,000 kids coming through checking out all the instruments, and you want trumpet students. Now, the best way to get them excited is to play them something that sounds cool and then get them to play. And if they can play a sound at that first time, then you're going to have great results. And it's so easy to do. If you demonstrate this, you try it next time, it works. Okay, so just go, well, it's a wind instrument, you've got to take a deep breath. So just make sure your jaw's nice and relaxed. Put your hand here, suck air past it, and then get a tissue and just go, see that? It's air, it's wind, it's a wind instrument. So you got to take a breath, try it, and get them to try it, and they go, that's okay. You can work on that later. They're going to take a big breath. But if it's too much, just say, just relax. No, you're doing too much. Just do this. And get them to cool down, to chill out, whatever. And then go, that's terrific. Now watch this. This is what my lips are doing. You can see the air coming out. You don't have to be complicated at all. See, this is like the mouthpiece rim. Check it out. The air comes out. And they go, oh, that's cool. Doesn't sound like a trumpet. So then you go, well, you get a mouthpiece with it. You just have to do the same thing. And they going, oh, this is too easy. There's no way I can't do this. I'm going to be the best trumpet player ever. And there's nothing they can't do there. So then when you demonstrate the lead pipe going over the mouthpiece, they've seen relaxed lips, they've felt airflow, then they've heard the vibration, and they instantly think, oh, okay, so when you put that on your lips, it vibrates. The last time I did this, there would have been 100 kids there, and all of them but one got a sound out. As soon as I put the mouthpiece into the instrument and played a note, they go, oh, I can do that. And they pick the instrument up and they take a breath in, they move the air, and they get a note. If not the first time, the second time. Generally a low C or a G, occasionally other sounds. But they've got ingrained instantly this idea of, I'm relaxed, I'm chilled, I'm just moving a bit of air. And the results were astounding. There was one young fella who I couldn't get to create a sound because he just had braces put on. So I would have needed a few minutes to work with him to go, oh, that's okay, don't push and don't stress and all that sort of thing. But the seeds are so powerful in that they just see movement of air, relaxed lips, and the sound, the vibration as a consequence of everything that you've done. That is the most powerful introduction to the trumpet that I can imagine. So give it a try next time you're trying out the trumpet students to be. I guarantee that you'll get a great intake of players, and they'll love playing. So that's the intermediate video number 2. In video number 3, we're going to talk about some humming and singing and how to recognise in your playing. You might have been playing for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and just sick of it, or just wanting to change the way you do things. I'll explain a few things about how to recognise when the body's tightening up and when you're pinching and all that sort of thing. I'll give you a few exercises to do to recognise how you're going. So thanks for watching, and check out intermediate video number 3. We'll see you there soon.